I love diving into every corner of the horror genre, but there is one subgenre I tend to avoid. Not because I dislike it, of course, as I actually find the concept interesting, but because body horror strikes me as one of the most genuinely disturbing themes in all of horror. Body horror covers a massive range of ideas, and its definition can vary widely. It could mean watching someone's body mutate beyond recognition, being completely taken over with no awareness of the change until it's too late, or remaining fully conscious while losing all control. That range of interpretation is exactly what makes body horror so compelling. If I had to name the definitive example of the concept, it would be The Thing, as for over 40 years, it has remained one of the primary pillars of the genre. What makes The Thing so fascinating starts with how it frames its antagonist. As so often in science fiction, the extraterrestrial life is an intelligent humanoid species, something we can reason with, understand, or at least recognize. But what if it's none of those things? What if it's simply an unknown organism, not a civilized species, but just another animal trying to survive? While humanity obsesses over finding intelligent life in the universe, The Thing quietly asks the question, what happens if the alien we find isn't smart, it's just hungry? The entity infects any life form it can consume, absorbing its host's DNA and replicating them down to the last detail, transforming them into something that looks human, but is anything but. Its only goal is to assimilate and devour. That's why, all these decades later, The Thing still hits as hard as it does, and its influence didn't stop at the film. Countless other forms of media followed in its wake. Games, comics, novels, each eager to reinterpret what body horror could mean in their own medium. You can see its fingerprints in franchises like Resident Evil, Silent Hill, and Dead Space, and more directly in games like The Thing Remastered, an official sequel to the original film, and Nuclear Nightmare, an indie title on Steam heavily inspired by The Thing.
Go! I didn't know you were still alive! No, I'm still here!
No, wait, please, dog, don't do that.
One interesting example I came across was an indie game on itch.io called Fear the Flesh. January 27th, 1820. The continent of Antarctica is discovered. December 14th, 1911. Norwegian explorer
Roald Amundsen
and his team were the first to discover and reach the South Pole. June 23rd, 1961. The Antarctic Treaty is enacted between the United States, the Soviet Union, and 10 other countries with significant interest in the continent. This treaty prohibited nuclear testing, economic exploitation, and demilitarized the entire continent. This allowed for freedom of scientific research and permanent research stations to be constructed. October 15th, 1995. The first meteorite with organic matter believed to be of alien origin is discovered. These findings would be proof of extraterrestrial life beyond Earth. November 13th, 1998. The first exometeorite with living tissue is discovered. Yeah, you've reached Burt.
Hey Burt, this is Lloyd. We finished examining yesterday's findings. Got the meteorite cracked open and everything. I know you're on your break, but why don't you pay us a visit in the main building? I'd like to see what you make of things.
Yeah, alright. I'll head out now. I still have to return the snowmobile anyway. To be honest, I think Burt is the funniest name I've seen given to a character. No offense, of course, to any actual Burts out there. It caught me so off guard the first time seeing it. Yeah, you've reached Burt. What's up, Burt? Actually, now that I think about it, unless I'm misremembering, I don't believe I've ever seen anyone of the name Burt in my life. Though, granted, this game does take place in the 1990s, and the character was likely born sometime in the 1950s or 60s or 70s, so, yeah, and it also doesn't help that I'm not really one who is great with remembering names, so that's also a plus. But probably back in those times, it may have been a popular name compared to now. Regardless, before we can set out on our journey, we are able to search around the living quarters, where we can come across Burt's journal. February 6, 1998. The last few days at the Frederick Madison station have been the same as ever. Can't believe this is the third time they sent us out here. Hopefully this latest batch of meteorites are enough to keep those brainiacs happy. I'm actually starting to miss the frozen pizza they serve at main base. Anything beats instant coffee and trail mix. Just gotta hold out a couple more days. Burt. Once we're done inside Burt's living quarters, we can make our way to the door and head outside. Once outside, we can take a look at our surroundings, seeing the endless ice and snow, with no sign of life around other than the two buildings sitting in front of us. We then walk down the flight of stairs and head over towards the main building, running into another character. Stuart. Oh, hey Stuart.
Hey Burt, you coming to see the rock as well?
Yeah, just got the call from Lloyd about it. I'm wrapped up with work for the day anyway.
Alright. Well, you go in and let them know. I'll join them in a second. I just want to get my fill of the outdoors for the day.
Heh, sure. After this, we then head inside the main building.
Oh, hey Burt.
Hi, Hicks.
Weather has been pretty good lately, right?
Yeah.
I heard it'll get worse tomorrow, though. Damn shame.
Oh, right. I wanted to return the snowmobile keys.
Sure, you can just pass the keys to me.
Ah, wait. I parked it in front of my cabin. Again.
Well, at least no one's using it tomorrow. I'll bring it back myself. Anyways, let's head upstairs. Lloyd's been waiting for everyone. Seems like it might be a pretty significant discovery. Maybe worthy of an award.
Hey, Bert, thanks for dropping in. Seeing as everyone is here, let's begin. In short, we may have made the most significant discovery of our time. Proof of extraterrestrial life. Take a look. The tissue cells have sustained damage from low temperatures, but the overall sample is remarkably intact. Our initial estimates indicate that it landed in the Arctic several hundred years ago.
But how could it have survived in a meteor for that long?
Yeah, that's going to be one of the questions we'll be seeking the answer to next. This will be the biggest discovery in the scientific community when we bring the sample back to the main. Alright, that's it guys. I'm gonna crack open some cold ones and blow off some steam.
Is all the red stuff blood? It's hard to believe that this is a meteorite at all. I wonder what it tastes like. Is what I would think if I were insane. Okay, I'm not sure why Burt had to make that last comment about the idea of tasting the meteorite sample, but let's be honest. We all have our random intrusive thoughts from time to time. Though again, it seems very out of the ordinary to think about, especially considering the fact it's an extraterrestrial being that we have little to no understanding of, but even then, keep that idea in mind for later. Looking at the meteorite sample, we can see that it's not really the usual kind of meteorite we're often used to seeing. As for one obvious thing, instead of materials like, well, rock or whatever else meteorites are made up of, the entire thing is made up of this fleshy substance, where Burt observes that it even appears to be bleeding from the looks of things, almost as if the meteorite itself was alive, in a sense. Regardless, we pay no mind to it for now, as we can take the chance to catch up with everyone else on the team.
Lloyd and I will be getting down to some testing in a bit. You want to join me for some drinks before then, Bert?
I'll have to pass. I'm just no good with alcohol.
Alright, Bert, but we'll get you drunk one of these days.
After so long, we finally have some results. Thank you for your help again, Burt. We wouldn't have been able to find the sample without your work in the field.
I've been researching meteors all my life, but I've never even entertained the idea that mankind would discover extraterrestrial life.
I think I might join Truman for a drink after this.
Once we've talked with everybody and take a gander at the interior of the main base, at least as much of it as we can since everyone is literally blocking our only two paths, we make our way to the nearest door and head back out. Oh, come on. There's still an hour left before I'm supposed to get up. Yep, it's me. Something happened?
Burt, here, we have a problem.
Damn, there's too much interference. Can you repeat that?
Just come.
Alright, you know what? I'll head over. Though before our character can saunter his way over, we're able to read another journal entry logged by Burt. February 7th, 1998. I took a look at the exo sample of everyone, and while I didn't say it out loud, I thought it looked disgusting. I doubt Truman and Lloyd share my distaste, and are instead consumed in their research. Only a few more days now. Burt. Once we're done here, we make our way outside once again. Okay, now I see why there's interference. As we can tell, it's hard to practically see anything outside, as compared to what it was the previous day, with our vision being reduced by the ongoing snowstorm. Despite these issues, we make our way over towards the main base, using what little we can to see ahead, along with the rope trails. Once we make it, we head back up the stairs and into the main building.
Hey Burt, that's you, right? Come upstairs. We've got a situation here.
Hey, Truman! Open up!
Did something happen to Truman?
Yeah, he's locked himself in the lab. And not only that, Lloyd's gone missing too.
He's definitely still kicking in there, but he isn't responding.
Now that you're here, I'm going to go look for Lloyd. Let me know when you get through to Truman. You might know where Lloyd is.
I say we break in and see what's going on. These doors are tough, but nothing a crowbar can't pry open. We should have one downstairs on one of the storage shelves.
So, in an attempt to get inside, we search around the main building for a crowbar to use. Along with it being the first opportunity for us to explore the remaining interior of the building, we can see it holds a variety of equipment one might find for scientists placed on an Arctic sheet, used for a wide variety of experiments, not to mention taking in the noticeably gray and dull atmosphere within the base, as there's no real color outside steel or bland painted walls, with some exceptions of course, but even then, the colored items are overshadowed by many grays. You can also find Burt's previous statements regarding food being rather true, as the kitchen is practically devoid of anything. I can't even begin to imagine having to go off days with such little nutrients. Once we find the crowbar, we take it back up to Stuart. I've got the crowbar.
Alright, you work the bar into the door, and I'll help push. Holy shit! What happened in here?
I have to eat.
It doesn't seem like that blood is Truman's, but he's not looking so hot either. Now I'm really worried about Lloyd. Crap! Can this day get any worse?
Okay, things have taken a turn for the worse, as a pool of blood and viscera covers the floor of the lab, with additional blood staining the other portions of the lab. Something terrible happened here, yet Truman seems to be okay, at least for now.
I have to eat it.
Eat? Are you hungry? Alright, bud. You do you. With this discovery, we also come across the sample, though it's noticeable that it looks different than it did earlier, so we take another close look at it. It looks different compared to yesterday. Large chunks of it are missing, almost as if it had been... There's no way, right? My immediate reaction should be disgust, and yet... Eat? No, I think I'm going insane. Now I think you can understand why I say to keep the eating comment from earlier in your mind, as from what we can gather, for some odd reason, both Lloyd and Truman decided to consume the sample. It's unknown as to why or how this even came about, but we do get more information about the events leading up to it.
(8:47 p.m.) Specimens A and B react to physical touch. Surface of touched area dips down when prodded, responds as if it's pulling back. The reactions of B are noticeably weaker. (8:52 p.m.) Drip some water on A. A initially recoiled, but subsequent drops prompted very little reaction. Is it a hardwire reaction? Or was it surprised? (8:56 p.m.) Drip some water on B. B responded similarly to A. (9:20 p.m.) Drip some more water on A. No reaction from A. No reaction from B either. (9:31 p.m.) Observed dark viscous liquid.
I wonder what it tastes like. Eat?
Burt, this is Hicks.
Hey Hicks, we managed to get to Truman.
I'm at the backup power generator. There is something else out here with me.
Well, what do you mean? Did you find Lloyd?
I don't know what's going on, but we need to take that snowmobile and leave. I'll stay with Truman and prepare some supplies. You go figure out what happened with Hicks.
Right. And he still has the snowmobile keys too.
Hicks said he's at the backup generator, right? The weather is rough, so hug the rope lines through the snow.
Of course, it wouldn't be a horror game if the characters didn't decide to make the stereotypically worst decision ever when in a scenario like this. Splitting up. As we attempt to leave through the upstairs door, we find that it refuses to budge, likely frozen shut due to the weather outside, which forces our character to resort to using the door on the first floor. You know something? I swear, I've played through this game several times by this point, and still, that thing, that canister, falling over always ends up getting me. Like, honestly, who needs jump scares anymore when you can just have items fall over and make loud noises these days? Despite this, we make our way over to the door and head out. The storm has clearly gotten worse. We can't even see anything remotely in the distance, only relying on whatever it is in front of us for guidance. As we make our way back down the stairs, we use what little we can see of the rope trail as it leads us towards the generator. Once we make it, we head back up the stairs and go inside. Inside, we find a grisly sight. Hicks, or what's left of him, lies dead on the floor, his chest and face mutilated beyond recognition. Fucking hell. Stuart, come in.
Yeah, it's me.
I found Hicks. He's dead. I think something ate him. Tore him up real bad. I can barely even look.
You're at the generator, right? Don't bother trying to turn it on. We're getting the hell out of this place when you get back. Check Hicks' pockets. See if he has the snowmobile keys.
All right. Stuart, I found some keys, but not the ones to the snowmobile. Stuart? Stuart, do you read? Damn it, I better head back. Isn't it convenient that the guy who has the keys to escape doesn't have the keys to escape on him? That's always fun. But before we head back out, we decide to take a better look at Hicks to truly see what happened to the guy. It's Hicks. I only joined the expedition this year, so I don't know him that well. So much of his flesh has been torn off. The only way I could tell it was Hicks is from the clothing. Who or what could have done this?
I was just attacked as well. It was Truman. He's turned into something unholy. I only took my eyes off of him for a bit, just to get my things. I managed to escape outside before it could get me. Truman, the thing that was Truman, it's still inside the main building. I think we should just forget about Lloyd and leave.
Well then, from that line of dialogue, we can get an idea of what's happened as a result of eating the meteorite sample. Now the situation grows even more dire, as it's only Burt and Stuart left alive, both now up against whatever monstrosities Lloyd and Truman have become. Once we manage to get back to the main base, we meet back up with Stuart. What happened, Stuart? Can you move?
Barely, but I'll probably need your help getting to the snowmobile.
About that, Hicks didn't have the snowmobile keys.
Right. I guess he'd have them locked up inside the main building. I wish I could help you, Bert, but I can't go back in there. Not with this leg.
Yeah. Fuck.
Truman, that monster that attacked me, its head changed shape. I don't know how it sees, but it hunted me like a predator. If you want to make it out, stay quiet and stay out of sight.
You're really gonna send me in with that thing?
I know I'm asking a lot of you, Bert, but only you can do it now.
Alright, well, I just have to get the snowmobile keys and get out, right?
Yeah. They should be in the locker on the upper floor.
Crap, my walkie-talkie. I need to hide now. Once we make it back out of that nightmare, we come across yet another grisly scene. Stewart is gone. The only thing left in his place are clumps of meat and blood, leaving Burt the only survivor left in this hellscape. We rush down the stairs and make a beeline to Burt's living quarters, heading straight for the parked snowmobile. I somehow managed to make it back to main base. Once the storm passed, I returned with a different team to investigate the aftermath. Frigid cold perfectly preserved those dead we managed to find. The others, including the research sample, are all missing to this day. Fear the Flesh, I have to say, offers a really unique interpretation of The Thing and how it portrays that kind of media. What makes it stand out is its concept of the alien creature. Rather than physically overtaking people directly, it instead lures them into wanting to consume it, which is how the infection spreads. The idea that this entity can produce some kind of scent or illusion that drives not just humans, but likely other organisms into a ravenous desire to eat it is a really cool idea. We see this play out in the game when it's mentioned that both Lloyd and Truman end up fighting each other over it. While the game does take heavy inspiration from The Thing and could feel like a close adaptation at times, it does enough to make the concept its own. The setting in Antarctica, the creature arriving via meteorite, the body horror and transformation, those familiar themes are all there. But the characters and their interactions give it its own story to tell. Burt, Stewart, Hicks, Lloyd, Truman, they all have a dynamic, and the game earns its narrative despite being short. It's just a really well-crafted indie horror game. It's tight, it's easy to follow, and genuinely impressive in how much it accomplishes in a brief runtime. Huge props, of course, to the developers for making such a wonderful game. If you are interested, the link to the game is down in the description as always, so go check it out and do support them in their future projects. But anyways, with that all being said, thank you all so much for watching the video. It truly means a lot to me, and your support is greatly, greatly appreciated. I do hope you have a great rest of your day or night, or whatever time it is for you, and I will see you in the next video. And remember, please do not eat any random items you come across, even if it's very tempting. Just don't eat random shit off the ground. Bye-bye!